First of all, I want to preface that this business, I don't know any of their numbers. They could be super successful. I'm not talking about that. This video is not clickbait. This video is going to give the raw. And if you're watching this and you're the owner, or if you're another business and you think that I'm throwing shade, then you have it all wrong, because what this is about is customer experience, the retention and acquisition, and business always need to improve no matter what it is. So hey, Pink Flamingo, this is not shade. So let's jump into a quick review, because when I walk into an establishment, the first thing I think about is the customer experience. And you know what? I have to say, the girl at the front, she was so freaking sweet. Like, when I tell you she was so sweet and she was so welcoming, her customer service was on point. I did notice a couple of things in the front where they didn't have updated brochures, or they didn't have pricing that was visible, which is totally fine because pricing does change from time to time. But we also want to think about you're a business. And if somebody's in there, maybe out of town and they're not local, how can you get those things for them? And maybe thinking about a monitor of some sort that can kind of just, they can actually be interactive and it can connect to their website. I actually have one for one of my businesses. It's like a walking TV. So that might be something that you may want to think about, so that they don't have to worry about pricing or availability. But I do want to mention that even going on their website, it's really outdated. And again, I'm not throwing shade, you guys. I'm telling you that people are making their purchases based on first time instances, experiences. I see it every day. People are going on websites like, this doesn't look right. I don't know. And you know what? They never went to the location. They're going to be judging it based on a website or social media. Brittany, hey, that girl, she got degrees on degree. Like, her artwork is bananas good. Okay. Shout out to her for that. But I want to make sure to put this out as a preface that it doesn't matter. It's all about what people know and the education behind it as far as like your customer. So even if you have a lot of services or a lot of people, it's really important to kind of have a space in your place to kind of talk about those services in depth. Of course, online has those as well, but maybe even asking them, what are you looking for? Where are you local? Give us your email. We'll keep in touch if you're local. If you're not, well, next time you're in town, blah, 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 blah. There was no place for an email spot, a newsletter, a gets ready, here the local events, inspired by this, bestie night, gumball machine, nothing online on their website or even in person. And that alone kind of made me think, like, how are you going to keep people retained? Like, how are you going to keep them going? How are you going to acquire people? So thinking about adding those to your email list, not just people who are purchasing, is going to be key. And of course, last but not least, we did a little tour, and again, no shade, but I have this thing that I was like, I'm definitely going to get services here. And when I went to the back, and it smelled like a cootie cat open on a fill in the blank. Okay. It smelled so bad. I couldn't forget the smell. And it's not their fault. It could have been a customer, right? As far as a customer who didn't bathe or whatever the case might be. But what's really important is that having rules and regulations or spots, or going and, I don't know, like a smell test. Like, ain't nobody tell them it stank. Like, it stank so bad. That's all I remember. Like, I can't get anything out of my head. And that is so important, because it makes you not want to ever go back to the establishment or give them a chance again. Now, it looked clean from a certain perspective. I didn't get to do my full raw retail through every room and crevice, including the bathroom, because yes, that is important. But smells are super important. And not to mention the McDonald's that was at the reception desk. Like, come on. If there's not a break room somewhere, like, keep that separate. This is customer experience. And again, it's not shade, but I promise you, if you go into customers and say, hey, did this really bother you when you walked in? Absolutely. They ain't coming back ever again. So I hope you took this, or anyone with an actual location in a store, think of this as, how can I evaluate my brand, my business, from an online experience and an in-person experience? And how can I keep the conversation going? If I were them, I would start collecting email addresses. There's a lot of stuff going on in Daytona Beach, a lot of events, and people can just have all kinds of different reasons of why they want to have like a little mini cute tattoo or a piercing or whatever the case, or the beauty services or the waxing. Again, customer retention is all about acquisition and that experience, because I promise you, if somebody is having those services down the street and their experience is different, I don't care if pink is their favorite color like me, they're going to go somewhere else. And we're living in a world where people are starting to do that. Where brand loyalty is very, very rare. Again, I'm not saying they're not making money. They've been there for a while, so they clearly are making bread. But what I'm saying is to elevate the experience of bringing in new people, or like I saw yesterday or whenever, like when I went in, there was people in there. But how can you elevate that experience so all of your people on your team are making money? All right, if you got a minuto, I got some marketing. And again, this is no shade. This is what I do when I help people. And guess what? Clients will go and improve their experience and say, wow, that is a great feedback. And I have to give them a shout out because they literally have a form on their website to give feedback. So they are open to feedback, and hopefully they will make the necessary improvements of making sure that the smells are smelling good, and making sure that their reception area, if somebody has to eat, like go do it somewhere else. Don't do it in the front and customer. It doesn't matter if nobody's in there. It's all about the freaking first time experience. All right. Talk to you later.